We're going to be starting in a bit, inshallah.
You post on Facebook.
Muaz is coming on.
Hello?
Hello?
Talking?
Thanks to know.
Okay. Let's see who's in so far. We got Ahmed Nasalna, Ahmed Higazi, Ammar Fahim, Ismail Yusuf.
Oh, it's me.
We also got Taha Abid.
There we go.
Oh, Deen, you got another haircut, Muaz.
Yeah, he kind of copied me.
Let me fix that.
It's your first time seeing it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine's better.
You look really young now.
that's
He's
what
raising
everyone
their
said.
hand. Taha's raising their hand. Should we let him talk?
Yeah. Let's see how this.
Ahmed. Oh, that's
I
cool.
have to make him panelist to let him talk, though.
Wait, what?
They can't talk?
No. Let's see.
Huh?
Oh, yeah,
What's
because he wants
up?
to talk. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Is anybody else here? Just out of curiosity.
People are coming in slowly.
Whose sons of Adam?
That's me.
Oh,
I could rename myself. Can you tell Misk to stop making noises? I'm gonna make him attendee again. Alright, should we allow people to talk if they raise their hands?
Yeah.
Alright. Let's
It-
see. Assalamu alaikum. How's it going, Ammar?
Is there really no way to get them to? Okay, go ahead, Ahmad. Or not?
Let's see. We officially have 0 viewers on the YouTube live stream.
Nice.
Everyone give it up for
Is there really no way to get them to? What?
I was looking at the YouTube live. It's like behind like 30 seconds.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's 30 seconds behind. Wow.
That's why I said it wasn't gonna work for Kahoot.
But there should be a way to like let it so like the attendees can still talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if they have the latest version of Zoom, then I can, but if they don't, then I just have to promote them to panelist and then wait and then
Salam everyone. If you're just coming in, we're gonna be starting soon, inshallah. Yeah, Ibrahim.
Ibrahim, you can use the Zoom chat, but make sure it says all panelists instead of panelists and attendees.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Do you want to, Khaled, Jenny, do you want to copy that snippet for the schedule into the WhatsApp or something? Oh, you already did. Never mind. Yeah, so it's on there, Ibrahim.
I'm sorry.
So the schedule is on there, on the chat.
Oh, thank you. All right, so I'll get it ready on my screen then.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna turn on the chat so that they can talk.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Make sure you guys stay respectful in the chat, guys, because we can always disable it if it proves to be a problem. Wait,
You can talk, Ammar. You can talk on here. So right now we're having, so the attendees can't talk. They can use the chat right now, but they can't talk with their mics.
Towards the end,
You
if you
can-
guys have other questions, we can promote you to panelist to ask your question, or if you're on a newer version of Zoom, I think it allows you to just talk as an attendee.
So yeah, if you raise your hand, then we can unmute you, basically. Talk that way. We should
We
be.
should be starting soon.
We'll give another 2 or 3 minutes for people to come in. Inshallah. However big it is the most important thing is that everyone here is benefiting.
You guys can't hear the sound going on my computer right now, right?
No.
Okay, perfect.
All right, do you guys want to start now?
It's up to you. Let's just go ahead and start, and whoever comes in can come in. Yeah, let's just go ahead and start. Ismail, your mic's muted.
Classic. So assalamu alaikum everyone. We're gonna go ahead and start here, inshallah. So this is something that we came up with to kind of make sure that everyone here is staying engaged, or we're staying engaged during Ramadan, given the situation that we're currently in. So kind of to explain the format of what we wanted to do. So we're gonna have a different speaker every week, inshallah. This week, inshallah, I'll be talking a bit about Ramadan and maybe talking about a bit of habits that we can build for Ramadan. We're going to have an online game to keep the fun part of it going, just like we have in our Sons of Adam, like the personal meetings that we have or the physical meetings that we had. And then we're going to have question and answer. And we're also going to have weekly giveaways. So this week we have like a few $10 Amazon gift cards, and those are going to be given at random for anyone who's actually in the Zoom. So anyone who's here has a chance of winning that. So make sure that you're here on time. You'd have to be here by 6:10 p.m. And after that, you can watch, but you can't join the Zoom. The Zoom's going to be closed at 6:10. And you can watch on YouTube Live, which you should have also gotten a link for that. So other than that, like I said, we're going to have question and answer. If you have any serious questions or any questions generally about how everyone's doing or whatever you want to ask, whatever's on your mind, as long as you just please keep it mature, and we expect the most maturity out of you guys and respectful, and make sure that you maintain the respect for everyone else, inshallah, in the chat. And if you have any suggestions in terms of like games that we want to play or topics that you want to cover or things that you want to hit during our topics, a lot of our topics are going to be Ramadan related. But if you have any suggestions, just feel free to email us, send us messages on Facebook or Instagram. So kind of to get into more detail, so this is kind of like an intro that we're going through. We're going to get, today we're going to be playing Kahoot. Ibrahim's going to be moderating that. Ibrahim, inshallah, will be moderating that. And then I'm going to be talking a bit about Ramadan. And we have some question and answer. And then Khalid is going to run the giveaway, inshallah, once he comes down. I don't think he's on yet, but inshallah, he will be on soon. But that's, otherwise, I think that's everything I wanted to cover. Do you guys have anything else? Did I miss anything? Mu'adh, Khalid, Jenny, Muhammad, anyone?
We also have like recorded videos that we also made for Ramadan. So those are going to be released on our YouTube channel. So if you're not already subscribed, just go on YouTube, type in Sons of Adam. It has the same logo, same logo and everything. And just go hit subscribe to catch the videos. I think we're releasing like one every week, inshallah.
Yeah. So the first one, I think, good. The first one's going to be released on the first day of Ramadan, but after that, we're going to be releasing them, I believe, every Monday. But yes, watch out for those, inshallah. But yeah, I think that's all we wanted to cover to start off. So without further ado, then I'm gonna give the reins over to Ibrahim, who's put together Kahoot for us. I guess Ibrahim, you can talk about it. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. All right, so I've put a Kahoot together. It's about 16 questions long. And it's going to cover the basics of what Ramadan is about, and it's going to tie, inshallah, directly to what Ismail is going to talk about today, inshallah. So let me share my screen so that Omar, you have to allow me to
present.
Yeah.
Could you give us a quick summary
working right now.
for those who don't know Ibrahim?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to link. I'm going to put the Kahoot pin in the chat below. Let's see if I can get that out.
Do you want to just put it on your screen, just so that people that are watching the YouTube could also join? I guess, although it's gonna.
Oh, I can share it now. Hold it.
It'll be noticeably behind.
Yes.
If you're watching on the YouTube stream, so.
Can you guys see it?
Ibrahim, click F11 real quick.
A full screen? Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I can't see the chat.
Can everyone see?
Yes, we have Omar. We have Omar. Okay, perfect.
Let me.
Oh, I see. There we go. No, okay. Oh, thanks.
Ismail, no.
Ismail, yeah. The link at the Kahoot is kahoot.it. And so that's how you're able to get access to the Kahoot.
Who's question mark? 511. Let me join it too. Might as well. 918.
Oh, we got two.
Prestige pretty aesthetic.
Oh, of course it's Law. Let's not have that name, please.
Yeah, whoever used that name, please pick a different one. Thank you.
Guys, if we keep getting inappropriate names, we're gonna have to not do the Kahoots. So please keep it appropriate.
All right, inshallah, I'll have it up for 2 more minutes. Does that sound fine?
Yep.
All right, and we'll start inshallah at 6:10.
Where's John?
You want to switch Jafar over to a panelist?
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Oh, so there's Muhammad and Saif. So are you guys on the same computer? Pin won't work.
They're brothers.
Oh yeah, I know, but 511-9188.
All right. One more minute, inshallah.
Okay, while we wait,
So if you guys are watching on the YouTube live stream and you're asking for the link for the Zoom, we're not going to be able to put that on the YouTube. Please check your email or send us an email if you did not receive the code. Ibrahim, can you stick to the code?
Are you guys able to see me when I switch?
give him a minute because yes, he's still trying to get in.
All right.
Hey, okay, while we wait, whoever can answer this the first, whoever can put this in the first, we'll get like a chocolate or a high five or something. What's 7 times 6? First answer gets a chocolate. Oh shoot. Who was it first? Yusuf Abdul Samad, of course. Okay. So Yusuf gets a chocolate. What's the square root of, hold up. What's the square root of 196? Not 16. Is it 16? It's 14.
No, it's 16. I swear everyone just copied me.
I said 196. Yusuf Abdul Samad got it again. That's 2 for Yusuf. Okay, let's see.
So why can't I see this chat?
Hold up.
All right, well, I can do this.
I can't think of any.
There we go.
You got 2 hands. Should we? Oh no, just one now. Fahim.
All right, so heads up, I can't see anything besides the chat, and if I do full screen, I won't be able to see anything except the Kahoot. So if you guys need to let me if I need to know anything, you'll have to let me know on the mic. All right. Are we ready?
I think we are, yeah.
All right, here you go. So just a heads up, everyone, for all of you who haven't played Kahoot yet. So Kahoot, so it will record how long it took. It will record how long it took you guys to put answers. So the faster people to answer questions will get more points. At the same time, it will penalize you for any questions you get wrong. So make sure you guys are confident in your answers before you answer them. All right? All right, so we are going to start, inshallah. I'm seeing the chat, seeing the chat. Yassine is in. All right, perfect. All right, here you go. What is Ramadan? The 7th Islamic month, the 10th Islamic month, the 9th Islamic month, or the 8th Islamic month?
I don't even know that.
Oh, you have to press on the.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of you guys should be seeing 4 buttons to press. Good. It's the 9th Islamic month. Good. All right. Next question. I'm in the lead right now.
There we go.
What is special or unique about Ramadan? Muslims read Quran every day in the entire month, or Muslims sleep for the entire month, or they fast for the entire month, or they pray for the entire month.
Ahmed, try refreshing. Can you not see anything from the Zoom or like on your phone?
You guys should be seeing the questions on my screen that I'm sharing. You guys won't be able to see the questions on your own screens.
Ibrahim, are you able to join the Kahoot after it had already started?
Yeah, the code should.
You should be.
The code is available on the bottom left of the screen.
Yeah, right here.
Ahmed, try this.
Ahmed, can you try using your phone instead of using your browser? Zoom meeting. So just in case you can't, you don't know where the Zoom pin is, it's available in the bottom left of the screen.
Rain, come on, let's go.
All right, we good? Okay. All right. Which surah explains what the month is? An-Nahl, Al-Baqarah, Al-Qadr, or Tawbah? Al-Baqarah. It's the 186th, sorry, 185th ayah.
I'll be actually reading that later, inshallah. So.
Oh, we got some new leaders. All right. According to the Quran, what is the purpose of Ramadan? To make it easy for us to be thankful to Allah, to not eat or drink for a full month, or to ward off evil, or to proclaim Allah's greatness. Good job, everyone. All of the answers were correct, except not to eat or drink for a full month.
Oh.
Now, that is what fasting is, but the purpose of fasting, according to the Quran, is for all of these reasons: to increase our gratefulness to Allah, to glorify Him, and to ward off any evils. What are the blessings of participating in Ramadan? We improve our self-control. Anytime you remember and glorify Allah, it's as if you did it 1,000 times. Fasting is a shield from your sins in the fire, and any good deed is multiplied 10 times over.
The trick question, they're all right, huh?
What?
Yep, Miles gave it away. They're all right. All right.
Whoever Big Dada Kamal is killing it.
That's Kamal.
Oh.
Every good deed of Adam's son is for him, except for blank. It is for me. And so the 4 answers are praying, giving charity, going to the Hajj, and fasting. What goes in the blank? I believe I have cited the hadith. Yes, I did. Fasting.
Yes, sir.
Oh, question mark, question mark, question mark in the lead.
Wonder who that is.
Who doesn't have to fast during Ramadan? Those who are pregnant, those who are tired, those who are sick, or those who are traveling. I should say and or. But. Nice job, everyone. So just because you're tired, you overslept one day, doesn't mean you get to not fast that day. But all the other reasons are valid reasons. If you're sick, traveling, or pregnant. Oh, Taha's on fire. What breaks the fast? Having fun, sleeping, eating or drinking, or the time of sunset?
I guess sunset doesn't technically do it. You still have to.
Hey.
I mean, most people already answered, so.
It's true.
Yeah. Eating or drinking. I put sunset in because, after sunset, you don't have to fast anymore. So.
Yeah, I guess.
But it's one of those kind of trick answers, but both answers are correct, and especially the eating or drinking one. Y'all have to catch up to Taha.
I'm on his butt.
The Prophet used to break his fast by eating dates. True or false? Let's go, everyone. And so the Prophet used to eat dates. And I believe if he couldn't find dates, then he would drink sips of water. For those who are capable of fasting but have a problem doing so, such as health issues, what do they do instead? So do they have to feed a hungry person every day, for which
No.
Is it going well?
Yeah.
they can't fast?
So
Nothing.
انت ليه مش موجود؟
They have to pray extra prayers, or they have to fast for 2 consecutive months.
أو فيديو. كاميرا؟
Yes. So the answer is
ولا فويس؟
they have to feed a hungry person for every day that they can't fast. And this is also in Surah
في ناس عملوها.
Al-Baqarah. I don't remember which ayah, but it's around 185. Right. True or false? Fasting is only about not eating and drinking.
It's easy.
Dang it. Yazik يا طنط ازيك. Oh.
Okay, so Ibrahim, do you want to explain to us what fasting is about then?
Yes.
Just about eating and drinking.
So fasting, the really obvious part about fasting is about not eating and drinking. But the real, the core of fasting is about self-control. And so one way we we train our self-control is not eating and drinking. Another way is, if you get angry, you walk away and you calm yourself down. Or if you get frustrated or any negative emotion, you seek to control that. Because fasting from eating and drinking, and also like mentally, being aware of why you're fasting, helps you improve your self-control. And the more self-control you have, the closer you're able to get to Allah.
Still
Is
have
that good?
anymore? Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry.
All right. And so that's why the answer here is false. Because fasting, it does have eating and drinking, but it's not only about that.
Hold up.
Oh, Maz is taking the lead.
Taken.
Y'all got to catch up. What historical events happened during Ramadan?
Why is Maz playing? Isn't that cheating?
The Muslims reclaimed Mecca. The Quran was revealed. The Battle of Uhud or the Battle of Badr. Good job, everyone. So most people know that the Quran was revealed in this month. And actually doing this Kahoot, I didn't know about the other two. And so it was cool to know that the Battle of Badr and the reclaiming of Mecca happened also in Ramadan. What day was the Quran first revealed? We don't know. The 27th of Ramadan, the 17th of Ramadan, or the 7th of Ramadan?
It's actually a tough one.
Difference of opinion.
There should be an answer that says, I don't know.
So I had the answer as we don't know.
I would agree.
It's because there's nothing in the Quran that says a definitive date, and there's nothing in the Hadith or any of the collections of Hadith, as far as my own understanding of it goes, that defines a definitive date. There are various Hadiths here and there that have said, oh, it's the 20, or look for it on the 24th of Ramadan or on the 27th of Ramadan. Most of them say it's within the last 10 days on an odd day. And so there's a lot of different opinions on where it could be, but for a definitive answer, nobody actually knows what day it's on. All right. What are the first verses to be revealed in the Quran? The first five verses of Al-Baqarah, the first 5 verses of Al-Fatiha, the first 5 verses of Al-Alaq, or the first 5 verses of Al-Ikhlas? One of these answers, y'all should know it's not it.
Yeah, there's only 4 ayahs in
The first 5 verses of Al-Alaq. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. Those ayat. Umaz is really getting ahead there. All right. What is special about the night of power, or Laylatul Qadr, the day that the Quran was first revealed? So it's better than 1,000 days. It's as if you've done a full Umrah, or it's as if you've prayed for 1,000 prayers, or it's better than 1,000 months. Good. It's better than 1,000 months. And this is in Surah Al-Qadr. Laylatul Qadri khayrun min alf shahr. It's better than 1,000 months. Ryan's catching up. All right, last question, everyone. What can we do during Ramadan, please Allah. To try to break any bad habits you have, to learn and study directly, or to learn and study the Quran. Whenever you get angry or frustrated, you walk away and you remember Allah, or to apologize to anyone you've made a mistake towards.
Another trick question.
They're all right. Nobody answered the angry one, huh? But yeah, anyway, so they're all right. In Ramadan, we're all trying. The purpose of Ramadan is to give us an opportunity for us to get closer. And all of these things, you increase your knowledge and you increase your own control over your body, your own power over your body. And so all of these things are true. All right.
I wonder.
Ooh, Ryan caught up just a second.
Ooh.
Wow.
Let's go. Do I get a prize? Maybe.
No. All right. I appreciate y'all being a part of this. If you guys have any feedback, let us know in the chats or ask questions or emails or whatever.
Next time.
And now we're going to go back to Ismail, inshallah. Stop sharing. And congrats, Maz, for winning.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, so this is kind of like the first thing we want to do is basically get you guys going with this quiz. And now I'm going to talk a bit about Ramadan, kind of intro to Ramadan. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard some of this stuff, but a reminder is always important so that, you know, it happens once a year. You get reminded once a year. That's not very often, to be honest. So I'm just going to go over a couple of things that maybe we can do to implement and make our Ramadan even better than it was going to be if we hadn't done these things. So I kind of wanted to start off with the virtues of Ramadan. And we all know that Ramadan is the month of ibadah, or the month of worship, praying, the zakat, giving sadaqah, or donating, making dhikr, remembering Allah. And then obviously the most obvious of all the ibadat that we can do is fasting. Now, the whole concept of fasting it's kind of like, it's a form of submission. Like it's your submission to Allah that you will not eat or drink for the whole month from Fajr to Maghrib. And in that way, it's completely to Allah. It's completely for Allah. And it's also a representation of our duty as Muslims to submit to Allah and His order that things that are usually halal for us during any other day of the year have suddenly become haram. It's also a unique form of ibadah in the sense that it's more of an outward form of worship. It's not an outward form of worship. Sorry, it's something that we kind of keep to ourselves. That there's no way of anyone knowing that that we're fasting other than you telling them that you're fasting. So people can see when you pray or when you read Quran or when you go on Hajj or whatever it is. But the only way to know someone's fasting is if, like I said, if they tell you. So what does that really mean? It shows us that this act of worship is entirely between us and Allah. And we can try to take advantage of that. We can try to take advantage of that closeness, that intimacy between you and Allah, to try to, perfect your fast through other forms of ibadah. Like take advantage of the fact that you're already committing to Allah, submitting to Him and feeling closer to Him by praying more, praying on time, praying Taraweeh, reading Quran, making dua. And I'm going to cover all of these forms of ibadah in more detail a bit later. So our dedication to fasting and our ihsan when it comes to fasting, and we talked about ihsan before, we can use that as kind of a fuel to, it's to kind of like burn the fuel to basically make our desire to pray on time, avoid using bad language, talking about inappropriate things, treating people well. We can use that all as a fuel to do these things, inshallah. There's actually a hadith Qudsi, which is basically the words of Allah narrated through Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. It's different from Quran, where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that Allah says that every deed of the son of Adam is for him except for fasting. And actually Ibrahim brought this up in his Kahut. And the hadith actually goes on to say that it is for me and I will reward it. Fasting is a shield. So when one of you fasts, he may not be obscene or boisterous, which basically means like don't cuss, don't talk about inappropriate things, don't look at inappropriate things, don't partake in inappropriate things generally. And if someone insults you or fights you, you should say, indeed, I'm fasting. So basically, like if someone is trying to provoke you or something, like, take the higher ground, tell them that you're fasting. And the hadith goes on to talk about how like the breath of the person who's fasting, even though it might be bad to all of us, to Allah, it's like the scent of musk, which is like a very nice, beautiful smell. So kind of moving on then to the next form of ibadah that Ramadan is also famous for. I can talk about salah. In Ramadan, there's plenty of opportunities to increase in your salah. Now, obviously, the most obvious of which is Taraweeh. Given the situation that we're currently in, the fact that we're doing this over video chat is the reason why we're not able to do this is because of the coronavirus. It's something that you might think that you might not be able to do, but honestly, it doesn't matter whether you're doing it in the masjid or at home, you can still do it. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is reported to have said that من صام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه ومن قام ليلة القدر إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. Whoever fasted the month of Ramadan out of sincere faith and hoping for a reward from Allah, then all his past sins will be forgiven. And whoever stood in for prayers in the night of Laylatul Qadr out of sincere faith and hoping for a reward from him, then all of his previous sins will be forgiven. So, I mean, like, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard this hadith, but you got really try to think about like how great this hadith is. Anything that you've ever done, any bad that you've ever said, any bad that you've ever seen or done, or whatever it is, it'll be forgiven from Allah if you pray Laylatul Qadr, or if you pray during Ramadan, or if you fast during Ramadan. But the key thing here to note is that you're doing it with Allah in mind, and that you're hoping for a word from Allah. So you're not doing it because your dad's doing it, or your dad's telling you to do it, or your mom's telling you to do it. You're doing it because you truly believe that there's benefit in it. Like I said, given the current situation, we might not be able to pray Taraweeh in the masjid at all. We're still not sure if we can. But I don't know if any of you know this, but Taraweeh originally was only prayed, it wasn't prayed in Jama'ah, it wasn't prayed in congregation until the Khilafah of Umar ibn Khattab. Before this, Taraweeh would be prayed in private. So what does that mean to everyone here? This means that we can pray on our own. We don't have to depend on like an imam or whoever to lead us. And one question you might have is, but I'm not a hafiz, or like I don't know the whole Quran, or it's hard for me to recite surahs from places I haven't memorized. If you're reading with a Quran in front of you. So my answer to that is that's definitely not a concern. You can still do the best you can. And remember the hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, أحب الأعمال إلى الله أدومها وإن قل, which basically means the most regular constant deeds, even though they may be few, are the most beloved to Allah. Essentially, paraphrasing in English. So like you don't have to be like a hafiz and read one juz every night. You could pray 2 rak'ahs every night for the whole month, and you'd be better off than reading like a whole juz in like 1 rak'ah on the first day of Ramadan, and like 1 juz or like finishing the Quran in one night or something, if you only do it that night. So try to build habits, and actually I'll be talking about habits later on, and trying to build habits and making sure that we can create actionable items that we can hold ourselves accountable to this Ramadan, and maybe hold other people in your household accountable to, and try to encourage yourself and other people to kind of take advantage of the situation that we've been given. There's no situation that Allah is putting us through that will be too difficult for us to withstand or bear. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah will not burden a soul with more than what it can bear. That's the last ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah. So kind of moving on to the next form of ibadah that we can do, reading the Quran. Now, why is this especially relevant here in the month of Ramadan? Is that Allah obviously is, Ibrahim mentioned earlier, Allah revealed the Quran in the month of Ramadan. And what will the Quran, what is the benefit of reading the Quran? The Quran will intercede for you on the Day of Judgment. Now, what does intercede mean? it means that it'll act on your behalf. It'll basically defend you on the day of judgment. This is in a hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, the Quran and fasting will speak on behalf of people on the day of judgment. Fasting will say, my Lord, I restricted him from food and drink, so allow me to intercede for him, or basically allow me to defend him. And the Quran will say, I prevented him from sleeping at night, so allow me to intercede for him. And then they will be allowed to intercede or protect him. Now, as we all know, the Ramadan is also referred to as the month of the Quran, Shahrul Quran. And I'm going to read the ayat in Surah Al-Baqarah that are relevant to this. So if everyone please, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says also, if the Quran is read, to be attentive to it. So please everyone pay attention, inshallah, and give the Quran the respect it's due. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون. صدق الله العظيم. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard this ayah, but I'll go through a quick translation of the ayah and then discuss some of the merits of the ayah, or it's a couple of ayahs. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed as a guide for humanity, with clear proofs of guidance and the standard to distinguish between right and wrong. So whoever is present this month, let them fast, but whoever is ill or on a journey, let them fast an equal number of days after Ramadan. God intends ease for you, not hardship, so that you may complete the prescribed period and proclaim the greatness of God for guiding you, and perhaps you will be grateful. And then in the next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when my servants ask you about me, I'm truly near. I respond to one's prayer when they call me upon me. So let them respond with obedience to me and believe in me. Perhaps they will be guided to the right way. Now, what are these, kind of like elaborating a bit on these ayat? The first part of the ayah, Shahr Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. The Ramadan is the month in which the Quran has been revealed. Now, you might ask, does this mean that the Quran was only revealed to Prophet Muhammad during the month of Ramadan? No, it means that it descended to the first heaven in Ramadan. And then over the course of 20 years, it was revealed to Prophet Muhammad in different kind of segments. Now, Allah also mentions that these ayat, at the end of the ayah, the second ayah, Allah also mentions about asking for him and making dua. And this actually leads me to the next form of ibadah that I want to talk about, is calling upon Allah with using dua and dhikr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is reported to have said, there's 3 supplications that will not be rejected: supplications of the parent for his child, supplication of the one who is fasting, and the supplication of the traveler. And in another hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, whatever is prayed for at the time of breaking the fast is granted and never refused. So these are kind of the merits that you can kind of remember in the back of your head. Like if you're about to break your fast, you're about to put that date or whatever it is that you're breaking your fast on your mouth, remember that the dua at that moment is very powerful. Inshallah, Allah will accept it if it's sincere, and if it's and it's inshallah if it's for the best for yourself and for your livelihood or whatever it is. And moving on to the next form, I don't want to spend too much time. I want to go to like kind of the actionable items here. I want to talk about zakat and sadaqah. So there's different types of zakat. Now zakat, like a lot of people, and when I was your age, probably I used to confuse between zakat and sadaqah. Just to make it clear for those of you who don't know, zakat is the mandatory donation to charity, and there are multiple forms. There's zakat al-mad, zakat al-fitr, and then sadaqah is basically like kind of like what you want to give without, like, it's not mandatory. It's like whatever you want to give extra. So zakat al-fitr specifically, that's given only in Ramadan. So that's kind of relevant to our discussion today. It's meant as a charity for the poor a few days before Eid, and only the head of the household needs to give it. So not everyone here has to give it. If your dad or your mom, whoever it is that's the head of your household, they give it on your behalf, and it covers all the members of your household, inshallah. Now, a lot of people also choose to pay zakat al-mal, which is also a different type of zakat, also a mandatory type of donation. Zakat al-mal is kind of like a percentage of the wealth that you obtain, that you have. It's like 2.5%, so you have to give that every year. Now, why do people tend to give it in Ramadan? It's because, I mean, good deeds are multiplied in Ramadan, so why not? That's a good time to do it, inshallah. And that applies also to all forms of ibadah, not only to zakat, the multiplying. Now, kind of moving towards what are some actions that are not typically seen as ibadah, but you can kind of think of ibadah and frame as ibadah so that you'd be able to get the reward for it. So one thing that I was actually thinking of that might be really relevant in the situation that we're in, given like the fact that a lot of us are at home all day long, is, you know, to make sure that you help your family and interacting with your family in a good manner. You're around your parents, your siblings, whoever it is, or your mom or your dad all day long. Try to help them out, cooking, cleaning, whatever it is that they need help with. They're struggling also as much as you are to make sure that, you know, they're maintaining a certain level of energy during their fast. So try to help them and make it easy for them. And Allah will grant you a reward for that. There's a hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, إذا أنفق المسلم نفقة على أهله وهو يحتسبها كانت له صدقة. When a Muslim spends something on his family intending to receive Allah's reward, it is regarded as a sadaqah for him. And spending doesn't only mean, you know, buying something for his family. It also means doing good things for your family. So take advantage of the fact that you're at home, try to help out, and inshallah, Allah will give you the reward for it as sadaqah, inshallah. So now that I kind of mentioned the different types of worship in Ramadan, I want to go into like actionable items, the things, habits that you can build, things that you can do to actually like take advantage of Ramadan and put words into action. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to make a dua. He used to say, "Oh Allah, I ask you to enable me to perform virtuous deeds and for the abandonment of sins." So that's kind of like an indication that like it's not enough to just know about these things. We also have to put words to action. So like I mentioned earlier, and I kind of wanted to like, this is kind of like a key hadith here of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam about consistency. The most beloved deeds to Allah are those which are persistent, even if they were little in number. So I want you guys to remember that. Like, don't think like, okay, I'm going to memorize the whole Quran in Ramadan. No, just memorize whatever you can, or read whatever you can, or learn whatever you can, or understand the translation for whatever you can. So I one thing that I think might help, and I might do this myself, is actually working on like having a schedule. For those of you who are organized like that, I personally, like I struggle with having a schedule, but if you like use a schedule, then you should definitely do this, is kind of plan out your day like around e-learning, because a lot of you guys I'm sure are doing e-learning. So start off with like Fajr, maybe like 1 hour before Fajr, wake up for suhoor, read like an ayah of Quran or whatever it is, as little as it might be, try to do that. And as hard as you might have the time, actually reading Quran, if you have difficulty reading Quran, then read the translation. It's not important. It's not important, whatever it is that you can do as much as you can, as best as you can, inshallah. One other thing is try to organize Taraweeh with your family. You don't have to be an imam or a scholar to organize Taraweeh. Just tell your dad, hey, or mom, or whatever it is, or your sisters, your brothers, hey, let's pray Taraweeh together. And I can lead, I can read whatever it is. We can pray 2 rak'ahs, we can pray 50 rak'ahs, whatever you want to do, as little as you want, as much as you want, whatever you can do to maintain that level of consistency. Now, Taraweeh is not an obligation. So even if you are unable to make it like one day, you can do it the next. It's not a problem if you miss it. Just try to offer as much as you can, and also try to do witr. Like witr is very important. And witr is basically, for those of you who don't know, witr is the shafa' witr is the 2 or 3 rak'ahs that you pray after Isha and before Fajr every night. And that's where like typically we make the dua during Taraweeh. That's during the witr salah. One other thing that I have advice for you, is I think this would be really cool, and a really cool thing if you could organize this, is if you're living with your family, set times for 5 daily prayers. Like say, okay, we have like a whiteboard here. We're all going to pray Dhuhr at this time. We're going to pray together, not everyone in their own room at their own time. You can even have someone pray, call adhan at those times. Like you could be the one to call adhan. And at that time, everyone knows, okay, khalas, it's time for salah. Let's go pray together as a family. So this does like 3 things at once. it helps family. It helps improve like family kind of like familial connections. It encourages praying together in jama'ah, and it encourages just you can after that you can like read Quran or something. So it encourages different forms of ibadah or like talk about different Islamic things or have like a kind of a mini halaqah. And also there's a lot of resources out there that you can take advantage of. Virtually, lots of masajid are coming out with programs that you can try to watch or benefit from. For those of you who are older, who might honestly anyone could benefit from these. I'm sure there's different material for different age groups. It could be like a halaqah or something, or someone reading Quran from your local masjid, whatever it is, anything that you can do. And now, like one of the last things I want to talk about here is try to read or listen to Quran every day. Like if you can't read, listen. If you can't, whatever it is, like just do the minimum that you think you can do every day. Set a goal. And I want everyone to kind of like stop for like, let's like stop for like 10 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever it is, and think about like 1, 2, maybe 3 things that you will commit yourself to doing every single day. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here for 30 seconds. So if you guys can think of like 1 thing or 2 things that you want to do every day, and if you want, it's even better if you want to write it down on a piece of paper and put it up in your fridge or in your room or something, so that every day you look at that and you say, okay, I haven't done these things. And then eventually you won't even have to look at that paper. It'll become a habit. So I want everyone to kind of think of that for 30 seconds, and then we'll get back to the talk, inshallah.
And if anyone's comfortable, then you can put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Inspirations.
Feel free to share it in the chat.
Can you repeat the question just in case as well?
Yeah, so if anyone who hadn't heard, I want everyone to take 30 seconds or a minute just to think of 1, 2, maybe even 3 things, at least just 1 thing. That's all you need. 1 thing that you will do every single day, inshallah, that whatever form of ibadah is from the ones that I mentioned, dhikr, salah, zakat, sadaqah, whatever it is, reading Quran, helping your family, whatever it is, these are all forms of ibadah. And there's many others. Any good that you do is a form of ibadah. If you have the intention of it being ibadah. So everyone to kind of add that in there, inshallah. So we're already getting, Rashid said no more listening to music, just listening to Quran. That's a really good one. If anyone else has anything they'd like to share, please share it in the chat. Otherwise, keep it to yourself, but just hold yourself accountable. So if everyone's kind of had like 2 or 3 ideas of what they want to do, whatever it is, like read 1 ayah of Quran, read 2 ayahs, read 3 ayahs, whatever it is, please commit to that. I want everyone here to commit to that. Like I'm not asking you to report to us every week that you're doing that or report to your parents. Report it to yourself, because ultimately you're the one who's benefiting from this, right? So hold yourself accountable and be responsible, and inshallah, Allah will give you the reward for maintaining that level of consistency. You can also try this. We can share this later on. I have like a list of things, but there's a link of 50 hadiths, like virtuous deeds, like basically good deeds and their rewards. So you can try to do like 1 or 2 of those every single day. Like for instance, one of them is like whoever reads Ayatul Kursi after every obligatory prayer, nothing will keep him from paradise except death. And then for people who read a specific dua after wudu, there's that dua is written in parchment, it's sealed, and it's not open till the day of resurrection, which basically means it's going to be a great benefit to you. So make sure that I'll probably share this inshallah by email after. So if you guys want to take a look, then please do. Try to do like a good deed a day, whatever it is, think of something, whatever it is that you can think of, inshallah. Make dua every day. Kind of come up, maybe you can come up with a list of like, maybe you can start like coming up with a list of du'as that you want to make for specific people. Or like, let's say you have a list of people that you want to make dua for, like your mom, your dad, your sister, your grandma, whatever it is, your friend at school, your friend back wherever you moved from, whatever it is. write it down, and try to make those du'ats every night so that you, and then you can keep adding to that every day. That can kind of build that habit. Then you could do adhkar sabah, like the supplicate, the remembering Allah every morning, remembering Allah every night. You can do that, and I know some families to do it every night as a group. They all meet up together and they read the adhkar sabah, masa. And the thing is, like, what I'm asking for you guys to do is, I'm going to kind of wrap up with this, is that like, your parents don't have to do this for you to have to do it. You can do it. You can initiate it yourself. Your parents shouldn't be the ones, or they can be if they want to, and they should be, I guess, in some ways, but they don't have to be the ones that initiate these types of acts. Like, you can go up to your parents and tell them, hey, I want to pray jama'ah. I want to do tarawih. Let's do tarawih. Let's read Quran together. Really simple stuff. And you'll find that it's really fun. It's just, you'll have a good time, inshallah, and you'll benefit from it, and they will benefit too. And you'll grow closer to them. And I'm not with my family right now. My family's in a different country. But I wish that I could be with them right now so that I could spend this time in Ramadan to be able to grow those bonds. So take advantage of the situation that you're in if you're with your family, inshallah. May Allah all give us the ability to practice all these ibadat in Ramadan with utmost sincerity and with utmost dedication to Him, inshallah. May Allah give us the power to live and the ability to live throughout Ramadan and to benefit from it. And to really make it through this Ramadan, this difficult Ramadan, this different Ramadan. I don't want to say it's difficult, it's definitely different. This different Ramadan with a kind of like a different view of ibadah and of Islam and maybe you never know, like, this experience might actually give you a different perspective on praying or on whatever it is that might make your iman much stronger, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. That's all I had to say. If anyone has any questions or any comments, please feel free to leave it in the chat. I think we're planning on opening it. I think we're planning on opening this up to everyone right now, inshallah.
Right. I'm going to mention one quick thing, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Just 2 minutes, guys, real quick. So we're 5-6 days away from Ramadan, and we all know that during Ramadan, the shaitan gets locked up, right? So it's a month where the shaitan can't have any influence on us, and he's locked up. So what shaitan tries to do in these next couple of days, right? Like the week, 2 weeks before Ramadan, is that he tries to get you to fall into like a deep sin, or he'll try to get you to make this habit of sin so that it continues through Ramadan, right? So all of us have our sins, right? It could be as simple as it could be like cursing, it could be talking to girls, it could be as serious as alcohol or zina of the eyes, whatever it may be. But during this week, shaitan is going to try and make you continuously do that sin, right? So he's going to try to make you continuously listen to music instead of listening to Quran, so that when Ramadan comes, it's harder to transition into just listening to Quran, right? So whatever it may be, be aware of that sin that you keep falling into, and really try to, because shaitan, before he gets locked up, he's going to try as hard as he can to get you to keep doing that sin, right? Maybe it might be a big sin so that like you feel guilty about it all through Ramadan and you don't, take advantage of it, or it might spoil your Ramadan. Or if it's like a habit, then it'll be hard to break that habit during Ramadan. So you're going to want to try to kind of realize that and break that habit now before Ramadan starts, inshallah. That's all I have to say.
One quick thing. So I attended this Sohaib web course last week. One thing that he mentioned was really interesting. So apparently everyone, when they're born, with them, they're assigned like an angel, and they're assigned a jinn. And that jinn stays with you and like throughout your entire life. And even to the point where during Ramadan, that jinn will stay with you. So I'm mentioning this so you make sure that even during Ramadan, you don't take it easy and you say, oh, well, shaitan is locked up, I'm not going to be doing anything bad, or I'm not going to have to be like on guard or whatever. But you have to always remember that no matter what time of year it is, you have to always make sure that you're keeping yourself in check, that you're always, trying to like stay away from haram and always making sure that if you feel like anything, like if you suddenly get like any haram thoughts or anything, just say "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim," even if it's during Ramadan. So, do you guys want to start doing the questions now?
We can,
Unmute yourself.
yeah, we can unmute everyone. I don't know.
All right. So, if you have any questions, just use the raise your hand button. Right now, I'm going to go through the Q&A box. So there's a question that came in that says, is it haram to talk to girls on social media during Ramadan? Does anyone want to answer that?
So we talked about the whole talking to girls on social media during I think it might have been our last halaqah before everything got shut down. It was the one where we had the sheikh come in for a bit and then I talked for a little amount of time. And we talked about how when it comes to talking to girls, especially on social media, shaitan will always take you through small steps, right? So when you're in the beginning and it's just any random conversations and nothing haram is obviously happening, shaitan tells you that. He says you're not doing anything haram, right? It's not, at least I'm not like this person, at least I'm not doing whatever it may be, right? But eventually 99% of the time, it always happens where he'll keep taking you until you do that haram thing that you were saying, at least I'm not doing this, right? So, the whole point of Ramadan, guys, there's a lot of points, but one of the main points is to build is to build self-discipline so that you can stay away from sins, right? So this month should be a month where you should like block out all that kind of stuff so then you can be stronger during it. Because if you're reading Quran and if you're praying and you're doing all this other forms of ibadah, but then you're doing these small sins on the side, that's going to spoil your Ramadan, right? You want this Ramadan to be one that you can look back at and say, Ramadan 2020 changed my life, right? So I'm not here to give a fatwa to say if it's haram or halal. And I hate that term because something that might not be haram at first can lead to something haram, right? But the point is that Ramadan is a month where you can really change yourself, right? And because of that, you can change your life. So you don't want to spoil that with these sins on the side, whether it be music, whether it be talking to girls, whether it be whatever it may be. But try as hard as you can to really block that out completely, right? And stop doing streaks, all that stuff. Just block it out for this month and see the effect, right? And Allah, or not Allah, but Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Man taraka shay'an lillah awadahu Allah khayrun min." Whoever abandons something for the sake of Allah, Allah will surely replace it with something better for him. So if you say to Allah, okay, I'm going to stop talking to these girls during this month, I'm going to better myself, surely Allah will give you something better in exchange for it, right? So it's not like you're just kind of like giving it up because someone told you to. You're giving it up for something better, inshallah.
All right, Jazakallah khair. Next question, and then we'll get to the live questions from people who have their hand up. So someone asked, how would Taraweeh work exactly with Laylatul Qadr? And if sleeping at the masjid doesn't work out as an i'tikaf, what can we do instead? So just real quick, Taraweeh doesn't have to be, it's not linked in any way with Laylatul Qadr. And you could pray Taraweeh on your own, obviously, anytime during Ramadan, not just Laylatul Qadr. And you could obviously, like during those last 10 days, always stick to just doing more ibadah. Although we technically, you should be doing that all of Ramadan, but if you really want to hit Laylatul Qadr, just do the best you can at home, even if the masajid are closed.
Then for sleeping at the masjid, i'tikaf, make the intention right now to do that if you want, if that's something that you do every year. Make the intention to make i'tikaf. And Allah will give you the reward for it, even if you're not able to do it. Like Allah grants based off of intentions. So make sure that you have the niyyah, like I'm going to make i'tikaf this year. Inshallah, Allah will give you the reward for it.
All right, I'm gonna open up the raised hands. Ahmed, you are now able to talk if you want to unmute yourself.
All right, hello.
Yes.
Walaikum hello.
All right. So I got a quick question. So during Ramadan, so like most of the basic things that are not allowed during like right now. So let's say, do you think after Ramadan, like we should like let's for an example, let's say music, even though you know some people listen to music and stuff, and during Ramadan, of course, it's haram to listen to music, and it's just for you to rather listen to Quran. So after Ramadan ends, do you think it would be better if like you kept going on or like not listening to music or like an example of not doing something haram, like music as an example, as I said, would that like should you keep doing that or like if you just don't want to, should you not keep doing that?
So just one quick point. One sign of an accepted Ramadan is that anything that you change during Ramadan, for example, starting to pray more sunnahs or praying on time or making better wudu, anything that continues after Ramadan is a sign that your Ramadan was accepted.
If correct me if I'm wrong, but like to understand your question, you're saying if you take something you're doing and you cut it off during Ramadan, do you have to like still cut it off for the rest of like after Ramadan? Is that kind of what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's like what I'm trying to say is just like
Yeah, so I think that the most important thing is that like the whole point of Ramadan, well, not the whole point, but one of the biggest points of Ramadan is that it's supposed to give you the fuel to carry on throughout the rest of the year, you know? Like if you think that there's some doubt or difference of opinion on listening to music and that the fact that you know it's kind of like a gray area and you want to avoid it, then try to use Ramadan as a month to build the habit to not have to depend on music or not have to listen to music every time you're like in your car or whatever it is, you know? Like habits build, like a lot of people are made of their habits, right? So like the whole point is like try to use Ramadan as kind of like a fuel to keep going through the rest of the year so that next time for next Ramadan you'll be at an even higher point and you just keep like you might, it's like kind of like a like you go up in Ramadan and then you start coming down after Ramadan and then you're dipping down and then you can come back up next Ramadan. But the end goal is that you're at a higher place, like when you're passing or whatever it is that you are that when you started. So just like, I mean, obviously like iman's gonna go up and down, like that's just gonna happen. But you have to try to keep pushing up, and try to improve your habits.
So, I mean, that's a really good question. If you look at it like scientifically or psychologically, whenever you try breaking a habit or starting a new one, if you try to like, if you tell yourself, I'm going to have to do it for this long, that demotivates you. So, for example, if you have like 20 hours of homework you have to do and you sit down and you're like, I'm going to finish all 20 right now. You're going to be done before you even start, you know, but tell yourself, if you tell yourself, okay, I'm only going to take 10 minutes, like I only need to do 10 minutes of work, that's easier on your brain. You know what I mean? So don't think of it in a way as I'm never going to listen to music again for the rest of my life, right? I'm never going to cuss for the rest of my life. Take it as just like this month, okay, I'm going to cut it out and replace it with something better. And if you do that by the end of the month, I promise you, it's going to be easier to continue the good habit than going back to the bad habit. If you're listening to Quran for an entire month, right, you're going to feel. Assalamu alaikum, Khalid.
Alaikum salam. Hi guys, how are you guys? I missed you all.
Alhamdulillah. So by the end of that month, right, you're going to want to listen to Quran and you're not going to want to listen to music anymore because you've been listening to Quran for 30 whole days. I'll give you an example as well. So last Ramadan, obviously we would go to Taraweeh and whatnot. Aisha and Taraweeh in the masjid. And I went like as much as I could, almost every day, alhamdulillah. But what happened after Ramadan was that I was used to, you know, at 10 p.m. I'm going to the masjid, I'm going to go pray. After Ramadan, it became super easy for me to go pray Aisha in the masjid because I'd already done it for 30 days. You know, you see what I'm saying? Before Ramadan, it might have been really hard for me to go to the masjid to pray Aisha, but now that I did it for a whole month straight, it was a lot easier for me to continue that habit. And alhamdulillah, I continued it for a long time. So my point is just, you know, like try to really focus on these 30 days and see the benefit that comes. And by the end of the 30 days, it'll be a lot easier to continue that good habit and not go back to the bad one. Jazakallah khair.
And one thing that I would like to mention is that if specifically for music, because there's a difference of opinion, if you want to stick to the safe side, but you like listening to things like music, there are alternatives like listening to Islamic music or nasheeds, and then eventually like trying to fill that with more Quran than music, and eventually make dua, and then you could eventually like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can accept that dua, and then you'll like make it easier for you to substitute your music for Quran, inshallah. Does anyone else have any more questions, or do you guys want to move on to the giveaway part? If you have any questions, please put it in the chat or in the Q&A box or raise your hand. All right, so we are going to go right to the giveaway, I guess.
Ramad, are you doing it?
I believe Khala Jenny is going to be sharing her screen shortly.
Okay, I have it up.
One quick question just came in. Someone asked, is music haram to listen to sometimes? And again, there's like a difference in opinions. A majority of the opinions say that if it's not haram, then there's very limited allowed parts of music, such as a majority of scholars don't allow anything with some sort of instruments. A majority of them don't allow, actually some of them allow certain instruments, but most of them not. And also definitely not the type of music that you hear like on the radio these days. Anything that's basically derogatory or has any profanity, that's by every single scholar has said that is haram.
Ramad, can I address the music real quick? Just
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, because this comes up a lot, and it's a good topic to talk about because a lot of us do listen to music. The way that I think about it, forget halal, haram, forget instruments and whatnot. The kind of music that you listen to, like the lyrics and the things that they say, would you be able to repeat that back to your grandmother or your mom or whatever, or like someone that you respect? Would you be able to actually say that? You know what I mean?
Or Prophet Muhammad.
What was it?
Or Prophet Muhammad.
So think about, okay, obviously, right? Obviously, no one would ever have the guts to repeat, the majority of the disgusting stuff that that music these days, rappers and whatnot tend to say. So why is it now that you wouldn't be able to say it to just a person, but then that Allah is listening to you, right? And if you're, that Allah can hear what you're, and then never mind that as well. Like Allah gave you the blessing of this body with your legs and your arms and your eyes and your ears, and then you take that blessing, right? And instead of listening to something beneficial, by the way you say thank you to Allah is by listening to complete filth and people talking about just disgusting things. You know what I mean? What kind of message does that send to Allah? You know what I mean? If you can't listen to music, if you can't blast music in front of someone you really respect, then why can you do that in front of Allah? Why are you okay with that? You know what I mean? So I don't know. We don't like going into the whole haram halal thing just because that's like a fatwa, and we can't again, like Umar said, there's a lot of debates around that. But yeah, you just think to yourself, like what kind of message am I sending to Allah, when I'm listening to something like this?
And also one other thing, Ramadan is the month of Quran, and if you're listening to music constantly, that it takes away from your Quran. Like you can't have both of them simultaneously, and so it's either or. And so since we're in Ramadan, your best option right now is the Quran. I mean, your Quran is always your best option, by the way.
I want to add something here too, if that's okay. So there are Quranic verses that mention, vain talk, or it's better to avoid the vain talk and go to Allah. And I know a lot of scholars have interpreted that as music, and I think based on the tafsir and the hadith and all the work that they put in, I think that's pretty reasonable. Just given just like the music that we have nowadays didn't exist 1400 years ago. And one ayah that I'm thinking of, and if I'm wrong about this, please correct me. It was revealed when the Prophet and his companions, they were attending, I think, a party or a wedding. I think, I'm not exactly sure what it was, but it was a fun event. And it became time to pray Maghrib or a certain of the evening prayers. And but at the same time, there was a band playing. There was some music playing, and so the music made them forget about the prayer, and so they missed the prayer, and that's when the ayah that I'm thinking of was revealed. And so there's clearly, obviously, vain talk doesn't do you, much good. It's just it's words that don't have that don't have any real meaning or importance to you. But what's clear, especially in the revelation of that ayah, was that what is really bad is if it takes you away from things that you're supposed to do. So if you could be reading Quran, if you should be praying, if you should be, taking care of your body or your health or doing something important for your family, and if music takes you away from that, then that's obviously a problem, regardless of um, haram or halal, like Himad said. And so your intention definitely matters here, and what music takes you away from, if that makes sense.
All right, let's move on to the giveaway, inshallah. You guys have been waiting patiently. So, raffle time, inshallah. Who is sharing their screen?
I believe
I believe
Jenny's
Father
going to
Jenny,
be.
but I'll be doing the raffle.
All right, let's do it.
Khaled, do you have like earbuds with a mic in them? Because you're kind of echoing.
Hadi, bro. Hadi.
I'm only echoing because I'm in the same room as Ismail, but because Muhammad is sleeping in my room.
Ooh, that's bad.
Go further to the window or something. Okay. Or put your volume down. All right, so today we're gonna be doing a raffle. We have 3 $10 gift cards to Amazon, I believe, and it will be a random generator, so everybody has an equal chance of winning. And so, Khala Jenny, if you could please, or you guys can wanna do like a drum roll or something, even though we can't hear you.
I believe these are going to go to your parents' emails. Maybe
All right,
to
go.
your personal, I'm not sure.
Actually, if we can make sure that everyone's, oh, never mind.
The name on the top will be the winner. Oh, okay. First we got Yasin. And okay, by the way, guys, make sure that you send me your email information. You can send it to my email. I'll get it to you, or I'll email you guys separately, and inshallah we'll get you that gift card. All right, number 2, inshallah, we have Yusuf Abdul Samad. All right, mashallah, this is going great. All right, we got one more $10 gift card.
He was ready.
No.
Wow, okay.
Oh my God.
Two in the same family.
No
Can we,
way.
redo
That's
or something?
rigged. I don't believe
I'm just
that.
kidding. Well, inshallah, we'll get those to you
Hey.
guys. And so make sure you guys,
That's
or
a-
if you want, or in like just in the chat, write down your email information, even though I
No,
might.
we have their emails.
I'll email you
don't
guys.
need to write it. We have the emails.
That's true, huh?
Trying to
All
wonder
the
if this thing is
Egyptians won.
really random because 2 in the same family, something sketch.
I would like to point out we do not discriminate by race or by gender. Actually, gender, yes, but we don't discriminate by anything.
It's the Egyptians had like a higher percentage. Like we weighed their names a little bit more.
Mars, you're not supposed to tell them. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Khaled's the one who made it, so he blame him.
Actually, it wasn't. I didn't make it. Never mind.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum. Can I just give a quick announcement?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So regarding these giveaways, so inshallah next week, whoever wins this week won't be eligible to win next week. Each week we're hoping to increase the amount of giveaway for each week. This week was 3 $10 gift cards. Next week will be bigger. Sorry about that, Yusuf.
Also, make sure to spread this event around, share it to your friends, family, anyone you know that would be interested. And even if they're not interested, just share it to them either way. Yeah, Yusuf, you should tell your brother Yahya to join.
All right. Anything else, guys?
Ismail asked, how long is this going to be going? We'll be doing it every single week. Saturday we'll have the live, and I believe the Monday following we'll have a YouTube video drop. And so Saturday will be, or every Saturday during Ramadan, we'll have it live at 6 o'clock, inshallah.
Same time.
And since you guys are on the Zoom, we're actually going to end the YouTube broadcast now. And